everyone, I'm Triple J and welcome to Brain Food, where I tell you what's yummy and nutritious for your head. For today's book, I got a nice slice of apocalypse life called The Big Book of Post-Collapse Fun by Rachel Sharp. Now you may be wondering, why buy this book? After all, there are so many apocalypse books out there as it is. Well, for starters, this isn't a zombie apocalypse, but an apocalypse based upon natural disasters. Think the San Andreas Fault finally blowing its top and sinking the entire western coast of North America into the Pacific Ocean, but on a global scale. It makes for a nice, refreshing change instead of zombies running or walking around everywhere, biting and eating everyone. Another reason to buy this book, it is how well done the story is in the first-person perspective. First-person perspective is quite a tricky thing to work with without bogging the reader down with information at every turn. But Rachel Sharp does a really good job of making this incredible story of survival while also giving us a quite hilarious, morbid take on the character that we're dealing with, which is a 20-something university graduated redhead woman named Maeve. The other thing that I really liked about the book, and which I'm sure you'll like about it, is that this is actually quite a pro-intellectual apocalypse book. We follow Maeve on her journey from the start of the apocalypse in Portland, Oregon, all the way up to the most stable part of North America located in Canada. And along the way, she turns to books to fill in the gaps in the information that she needs in order to survive. She reads books on geography, which is where she learns to go to Canada to survive this, on hunting and fishing and camping and trapping and gathering, berries and wildlife and everything like that. It made for a really nice change of pace from another really popular apocalypse series, The Walking Dead, which has, as of late, a really anti-intellectual bent to it, where if you're not an ultimate badass, and you are instead, say, a farmer, a doctor, an engineer, or you want to be an engineer, you're killed off one by one, along with anyone else who is black and Latino. Remember how I mentioned the humor earlier? Rachel Sharp does a great job of injecting Maeve with this morbid sense of humor as she talks about the absurdity of her new life surviving this apocalypse. She went from being an unemployed university graduate, just trying to find a job, to literally watching her world crumble around her and finding herself in a deserted Portland. We see Maeve grow from an introvert to, well, an even bigger introvert, but one who comes to learn how to survive all on her own in this dangerous new world. Did I mention that Maeve gets a dog named Vet who helps her out in her adventures? Because she does. If I do have one nitpick about the story, though, it's that it's very lacking in diversity, and that's due in part to the story itself. First off, we have Maeve, who is a straight, white, cisgendered, able-bodied woman, and who is also very much an introvert, to the point where she does everything possible to avoid all other people for about 95% of the story. In fact, the one or two times that she sees or encounters people, she just runs away. However, when she finally gets to this safe haven up in Canada, it's very much lacking in detail, where you can't quite tell if there's anyone else aside from straight, white, cisgendered men or women there. And I found that to be a little bit disappointing. Overall, though, I found this to be a fun, addictive, hard to put down book once I started reading it, especially when I was at work. Oh boy, especially when I was at work. Man, there are some days where I don't want to do anything. Anyhow, moving on. There are other installments in the series that I'm definitely going to be picking up, and I hope that it's in those installments that we see more diversity with the people of this new, terrifying, dangerous world. I'm Triple J. That's all I got left to say. Take care.